Back, we are here for another day of the BTS Pro Series Season 2. Hey Dota, and of course, the lovely Dan. Welcome back, sir. We are here for the first day of the playoffs. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I even shaved for the occasion, if you can believe that. But of course, I would never ask that of you. Your beard's looking glorious.
Thank you. My quarantine beard's still going strong. There was a day where it might have been shaved if the techies had won a game, but that didn't happen. Luckily for my sake, so we're still here. I apologize for the late stream, by the way. Totally my fault. Might have had a rough night, I'm not gonna lie. But we're here. Still Fnatic versus GeekFam. Going to be an interesting matchup, Daniel. Both teams have been performing pretty darn well over the past 10 days or so. I'd say Fnatic looking like the slightly better team, but it could go either way.
It could, absolutely. But before we do get into talking about the teams, though, I understand you've had a rough night, so chat, just send some love the way of MLP. You know, it's quarantine, it's COVID, it's happening, and I don't want to pry into too private details, but I'm sure there's some stuff that everyone's dealing with. So I'm here for you, mate.
See, this is the support I need, Daniel. Thank you, sir. John would never say that. John would just tell me I'm an idiot.
Just an Australian brother, you know, backing you up. So
thank you, mate.
You know what you need to make you feel a bit better? Maybe cracking into a monster would do that sort of stuff. Because I've got this one I haven't had yet. It's the Ultra Sunrise. So we'll see how it goes. I've liked the first three, just as we get into the draft. But before I take a sip, I'm a little interested that GeekFam haven't gotten rid of the Timber Saw, but I'm glad that the Queen of Pain is taken out, because Fnatic's the only team that they actually lost both of their games in the BO2 series. They either 1-1'd or 2-0'd everyone else, but they 0-2'd against Fnatic, and that was because of some funky little Queen of Pain 3 Dragon Knight 4 draft that they went, and I just wasn't feeling it.
No, I mean, it is weird, though. I've got to agree that the Timber Saw hasn't been removed here from GeekFam, and well, Fnatic, they have gone into the first pick Luna, which we did see yesterday, and that didn't work out either up against Neon Esports. A bit surprised they go for that as a first pick. GeekFam, they'll respond with the Shadow Demon Dragon Knight now. Interesting openings.
This better not be a 4 Dragon Knight, that's all I gotta say. It didn't work for them last time. I can kind of understand what they want to do. You know, it acts as like that tanky support, which is like the Clockwork and the Tusk and the Spirit, you know, one that can just stand on the front lines, and he's got innate abilities to obviously reduce a lot of the damage that he takes. That's what happens when you leave Fnatic the Timber Saw.
That's it.
They never ban it out because you've always got it in Ice's arsenal.
Yeah, so sometimes they do leave it past the first phase pick stage, but I mean, it's the first day of playoffs. There's no playing around here for Fnatic. They are taking everything seriously, and of course, Timber Saw would be taken by Ice. You pick that into a Dragon Knight as well. Like, it's Ice is going to have a great old time getting through the Dragon Knight. The armor just doesn't matter. HP doesn't matter. I'm curious to whether GeekFam thought Fnatic would leave that till the second pick phase, but they clearly haven't. They've just picked it up now.
Yeah, just picked it up now. It's perfectly fine, right? It just basically means that you need to now go a core on GeekFam that's able to move through the jungle and make something happen there, because once that Timber Saw reaches that level 5, you can essentially just stand underneath the tower, you can tack up a creep wave, and there's no way that they're going to kill you, especially if they go this Dragon Knight 4. It kind of puts a spanner in the works there, because not the highest damage dealing. It's really just for that tanky frontliner and initiation if they were running it as a support, which I hope they don't.
Well, we're going to find out soon enough. I'm sure they won't. I'm sure they'll give it to Carl, or maybe they'll let Cuckoo play it in the off lane. Hopefully it won't be the pos 4. But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Maybe you don't want to run the core DK into a Timber Saw, though. Maybe that's the idea, right? Like, at least if it's a pos 4, it's not as important if it dies, maybe? I'm not sure. Like, seems like Ice is just going to get through that DK so easily. Timber, that's my concern here for GeekFam.
Yeah, and it's one of the advantages of having that first pick as well, right? It means that obviously you get the highest priority hero that you want in the entire pool, but you also get to counter their first phase picks with your second pick. So it's really influential to be able to do that, and with a hero that Fnatic has. I mean, they're just good at every hero basically in the game. There are very few heroes that they just ban out completely. Lycan is one of them. Batrider's the other one, and that's basically it. You know, Beastmaster a little bit as well. So a little surprised that that's made its way through. But
I wouldn't be shocked to see if they GeekFam went for that as well. Like with the DK, it does seem like kind of just adds on this crazy amount of push, and I believe they've run it before. In fact, if I remember correctly, there was a point where they ran offlane DK mid BM, and it actually worked out quite well. I remember there was a mid Beastmaster sometime. We'll see, I guess. GeekFam, this third pickup now. Okay, the Bane. So just control, I guess, in a POS 5.
Yeah, and control with a POS 5, this means that the Shadow Demon will most likely be going that POS 4 unless it's going to be some weird Thompson-style Shadow Demon mid that they might be trying to go. But I don't think so. We saw with Fnatic the other day that they went with a DJ Shadow Demon, and it really didn't work for them. He needs to be much more of that frontlining playmaker, and I feel like Zephyr is a bit less of that. He's obviously... Cuckoo is a very flashy style of player, so they're happy to give him more of the... crazy plays, the clippable moments, that sort of stuff, and it's really what he thrives off, and you want to be supporting the mentality of your players as well.
Right. It seems as though Fnatic now, they're going to go into the tiny pickup, which I believe that may be the DJ hero this time around. That POS 4 role. You never know, they could run a core tiny, we have seen that as well. But the DJ tiny could be something spectacular to watch here with Fnatic. GeekFam, they won't falter too long. They go into a gyrocopter, which you're going to have to explain this one to me. I have no clue why.
I guess it's just being able to deal a lot of magic damage early on to a Timbersaw before he's able to tank up. Try and get some early kills. Bane does a decent amount of damage as well through the Brain Sap. You can tank up a lot of the aggression that Timber might be trying to throw at you. It wouldn't even surprise me if they try and tri-lane this super early on, just to get that first blood and maybe enable that snowball through from Raven.
Those are good points. I suppose that all makes sense. I just kind of question whether the gyrocopter is a good enough hero in this current meta. It seems really weak. In comparison to other POS 1s right now. Now you've got a Storm there. Although you've got some decent control for the Storm, it just feels like another hero that can just jump on the gyrocopter and just try to burst it down before he has that BKB up.
I mean, it's kind of ironic, right? Like with a gyrocopter, you kind of want to be next to a lot of heroes so that you can be doing damage through that rocket barrage, as well as the flak cannon and everything else that you've got in your arsenal. But at this point, Fnatic have 3 heroes that are very happy to just dive that gyro, and he's not the tankiest, of course, especially pre-Ags and the Mask of the lifesteal that you might want to get. I don't think it'll go on Mask of Madness, but if you can get a Satanic and just have an Ag Scepter, it doesn't really matter too much if you're getting Chain CC'd, because you're always going to have that side gunner doing some damage. I don't think Fnatic are going to let it get to that late.
It's going to be an interesting one, GeekFam. I guess this last pick kind of reveals what the idea is here with this draft. I gotta say, when I look at Fnatic's draft in comparison, it does really make me feel quite a lot more confident. It just, I don't know, that gyrocopter just doesn't make me feel very good now. I'm not a big fan. I'd like to be proved differently, though.
I mean, the big issue for me is, where is the initiation coming from GeekFam right now? You can say, sure, we're going to give it on to a Dragon Knight and a Blink Dagger, but it takes a while for him to farm that up.
True, that is very true. That's where I was going to go with that, but you are correct. It is going to take a bit of time. I guess maybe the Shadow Demon Disruption, if you'd call that initiation, it's not really great.
I'd say that's much more counter-initiation, especially against this Storm Spirit Tiny combo, right?
Right. In that case, GeekFam may be looking for perhaps an offlane pick, perhaps another mid pick here for Carl, something that can initiate. Fnatic, don't ban out the
it pushes out a little bit. You can up the tempo somewhat on the map. Gyro feels like it needs more farm as well. Invoker, I think they're going to be lacking a little bit of damage. It gives you a bit more CC, which they're lacking right now, or at least CC from a decent range. Just finishing things off with the Witch Doctor. Perfectly fine for Jabs to be able to pick up for himself.
I don't see a problem. We've been seeing a lot of this past 5 Witch Doctor popping up. Seems pretty good. That I mean, you might.
It's like some not call it 8-bit, but it's some like reject shopped level taunt with the audio coming out from it.
See, that's what I said as well. How is that the most expensive taunt in the game right now? It just doesn't make any sense. Oh well, we'll live with it. Good to see both teams mooing their hearts out as well. So Fnatic are going to try and set up this, maybe a top first blood here at that first bounty room. Do have DJ scouting around there on the tiny, trying to see if anyone's going to run down, but nobody's hanging around there from GeekFam. Everyone's just prepared to go for the bottom bounties instead, so it looks like they won't really interact with each other quite yet. I guess maybe you could have gone after Carl in that mid lane DK, but he's also backing off now.
Yeah, and we could see both of the supports were down on the bottom side of the map previously. We're just doing some observer ward scouting right now on Whitemon. sure that it's not on the right side of the tier 1 tower mid. Give a potential bit of information that it is going to be on the left. It's, yeah, very passive start to the game. 2 bounty runes from each side.
That it is. I was a bit surprised, though, I must admit. I thought it was going to be a mid Void Spirit, but Cuckoo takes it. He's in the off-lane Void Spirit, which is quite interesting to me. Do you think this is the way to play it? Because you are going to be lacking a lot less levels and farm, I'd say, on this Void Spirit.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit of an issue. And, well, I suppose it is that sort of flashy style that he does like to play, so it can work in that way. If they were going for this, though, I'm a little surprised they didn't change the lanes up a little bit, maybe throw Cuckoo into that Timber Source so that you can, again, do a lot of that magic damage to him. Yeah,
absolutely. They're even running a bit of a tri lane right now at that bot lane. It's like they will finally TP out, so one does go up top.
He makes that rotation, wanting to take as much advantage, like we were thinking before, of Ice before he hits onto that that level 2 or level 3 and is able to move around a little bit. But it's going to be tough, given that DJ is pulled through this creep wave behind the tier 1 tower. Much done onto him as they can, though.
Now that they are, a lot of damage. Ice, can you survive? No, you cannot. That's the way to play up against the Timbersaw, right? Those early levels, you've got to guide him fast.
Absolutely.
It's a good start there for GeekFam. Having a look at that mid lane as well, you'll see Carl up against Moon on that Storm, but that should be a much more even kind of trading lane, I'd say. Neither one should die too early on. Moon, though, pulling ahead on the Storm thus far. Carl actually falling a little bit behind. Should be able to catch up fairly soon now. I do get a little bit afraid again for GeekFam when you think about Moonstorm, though. He can be quite scary on this hero if he's given too much space.
Yeah, scary if given a lot of space, and none of their stuns are instant. You know, everything... Well, Void Spirit's in a bit of trouble, actually, on this bot side. He's maledicted up.
Chase down, does he pop out? No, he'll be fine for now. I believe he should survive through the rest of the damage. Tango will regen him up, and he does bring a salve out now on the courier. That's the thing as well, that offlane Void Spirit, it's kind of like you can't secure farm safely. You've got a Witch Doctor there with a Luna, so they've got plenty of damage to pump out. And every time Cuckoo gets close, this happens. Paralyzing cast with Lucid Beams. This time they don't have the Melodic. In fact, they're going to try and turn around now. Jabs, he could be in trouble. They will get the Aether Remnant to lock him in with the Resonant Pulse, and Jabs will end up dying. Savage still trying to go up there for Zephyr, but he may have overextended. He will back off.
Yeah, he'll be fine. They wanted to make sure they got that extra use of the Shadow Poison off on Zephyr, and maybe punishing this a little bit by the Witch Doctor, the fact that he's gone into a circlet instead of getting that Magic Stick, realizing that it is a position for Zephyr.
Well, Fnatic in the bot lane may just want to slow down a bit in terms of aggression. They will go for that clarity cancellation there onto Zephyr, at least with the coconut. Top lane Ice. Looks like he's reached level 3 now, so he's kind of getting to that point where he's not going to be as killable in that top lane. Moon gets Carl's courier.
Yeah, he doesn't mind that much. We can see DJ is rotated down towards this bottom side. They're going for a kill onto Cuckoo.
They are. Avalanche going to be out with the Melody. Down the toss back onto Cuckoo. Savage going to be a little bit careful with all that Shadow Poison. No, Zephyr. He needs 1 or 2 more. He can't get it. And now DJ, he's going to chase him down. They have the Lucid Beam. Zephyr should be dead here, or maybe not. Do they have anything to throw out? DJ, no mana for a toss. We'll just have to let the kill go, and Zephyr will barely survive. But Cuckoo does end up going down in that Void Spirit.
Yeah, the mana to be able to follow up on that one with DJ, but, you know, we saw the power of that ability to rotate, right? As soon as Ice is level 3, suddenly he can get an extra 12 stacks of armor, which is just insane, and he's not worried about dying in the same way as he did at level 1.
Absolutely not. They're going to try again onto Savage, though. Savage going to be falling low at Luna. He'll be alright. He'll barely I say that. The illusions were still chasing, but he is going to be okay. Zephyr? Maybe not, though. Does get tossed up in the air. DJ does secure the kill, and now Well, Cuckoo, he's going to try and harass out DJ a little bit, but ultimately we'll just kind of be stuck in leaving him alone. And I hate to point it out, Danog, but Cuckoo's still level 3.
He is. Got a nice toss coming through there from Jabs.
Melody
Onto
not
Jabs,
being
rather.
used. They'll leave him be, he'll run away again, but you're basically the same level as this Tiny almost. DJ's almost level 3. Jabs is over-leveling, or out-leveling Cuckoo.
What happens when you get a whole bunch of kills, even with a little bit of a tri-lane going on in your lane, and yeah, it just feels like Cuckoo's being pressured out a little bit. That's why I was a little surprised with the fact that this Void Spirit was being put into this offlane. You know, you don't have the inherent tankiness. You don't want to build into the Dissimulate early on because it doesn't help all too much in the form of farming. You don't have the mana pool to be able to cast 3 different spells at that stage of the game, and yeah, you're just not tanky like a Dragon Knight is, where you can just stand in the middle of a wave.
Could be disastrous for them later on if he can't catch up here on this Void Spirit. He's still just struggling. He's got a creep wave by the tier 1 tower now at least. Meanwhile, Moon is trying to dish out some damage here onto Carl. We are having DJ also rotate in. Which I believe, yeah, Carl can't actually see this. DJ is still out of vision. But this could be a nice easy kill there onto Carl. I don't believe you have enough of the Avalanche toss yet.
No, just
you probably won't.
I mean, he could, you could see he's maybe going for the rune, hoping he's going to luck out with something, and that's why DJ's in the space as well. I think maybe with this space, it's unfortunate that he doesn't see DJ, but the best he can probably do is use his magic stick, breathe fire, and just run back underneath the tower if he can.
Suppose so. See if he can survive this. I wonder what DJ does though. Like, what do you opt for? If you only are left with one ability, do you just toss back or do you avalanche?
It depends who you're going up against. I think the fact that it is Cuckoo, yeah, he's trying for that movement back. He's going to use the Dragon Tail instead, so perfectly fine as well, but in the process, Moon's going to be able to grab this bottle Invis rune, and, well, we start to see some rotations coming through shortly. No, they actually give it over to DJ instead.
I like that. They give him the Invis. He has now enough mana for the Avalanche toss combo, and he's waiting around mid again.
But they saw that happen. That's the thing. With this Observer Ward, he saw that bottle exchange was going on, and so he can play, Carl can play a little bit more defensively. That's
problematic now for DJ. We'll see if he can find a way in. I don't think the level 1 Avalanche toss is going to be enough anyway. Just regen way too much HP, but now the Vortex comes in, DJ will show himself, but the Dragon Tail is there.
Nice
Jab
Dragon
will
Tail.
throw out the coconut, and DJ, he may just be dead here. They're trying to get vision with the Shadow Poison. DJ's still trying to make a run for it. Wyman on the chase, trying to get that Nightmare off. Can he get in range? Not quite. On the run.
He's pretty speedy with those Tranquil Boots. Nice job to actually interrupt the regen and the speed from them by Whitemon, but going to be able to catch this guy.
I really don't either. Avalanche now, there just seems no way they can actually get him. And he'll just keep wasting time. Meanwhile, mid lane, Carl is going down to Moon, although Moon does have to back off because he was underneath that tier 1 tower, and now Zephyr is going to rotate in. But DJ's TP'd out of there. He's gone. He's back down to the bot lane now.
I'm liking this pressure being put onto Moon, though, by Zephyr, in a similar way to the Timber Saw being pretty self-sustainable. Like Gyrocopter is too. He's not in too much danger of dying. He can always last hit from a relatively safe range, and the skill build that he's gone is pretty versatile.
Good though. He ends up dying again. He's still at that level 4 mark on the Void Spirit. DJ just making that rotation down after escaping the top lane. I do agree with you. I do like the pressure there on some Moon. That is who they appear to be focusing on, but their side lanes may not be working out that well right now if this keeps up.
The fact that they were able to protect this DD rune is enormous. You can tell that Moon would be wanting to make some sort of rotation go on at that time. He might even still do it. You know, he's walking all the way back to base. He's going to refill up his bottle. Could just come straight back to mid because he's got the support duo of DJ and Jab sitting right here with him, and Ice making the rotation through as well.
Yeah, he's level 7, so he'll run. We'll go for the Nightmare. They just toss Ice back in onto Wyman.
Even Savage is here.
Escape. Yeah, he's probably going to go down. Wyman trying to go for the Roshan deny, but no. Ice will get the kill. Now Vortex through the mid lane. Carl, he lost the DD, but He already had got it going, it just didn't matter. Trying to harass our Moon with that Dragon Tail and the Dragon Form, a lot of damage, but it will not be anywhere near enough. And with that, Fnatic will just secure 1 kill, and looks like they're going to try and push in that mid lane.
That DD coming through pretty impactful, but as we were saying, all of Fnatic rotated through to try and make something happen there, and at the end of the day, it was only Whitemon that ended up going down, and all the time Cuckoo has been starved for farm, but he's had about 2 creep waves, he's pushed the wave into the tower, so they're going to lose some valuable experience up here, and even Gyropter was just sitting in the jungle the entire time, taking up these stacks, so they've lucked out a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say so. Net worth going up quite nicely for Raven. So, going straight for that Aghanim 7 build and see if he can keep believe he will have the gold ladder eggs in just a second.
Yeah, with bounties as well, it'll definitely secure. Ice, he's going for a bit of a play here.
Aether, I'm not going to latch him in though, and yeah, he won't be able to take the bounty off Cuckoo there on the Void Spirit. They'll just kind of go back again. There's that edge we talked about on Raven. So whether they make a smoke rotation now, perhaps, and they will.
It's not terrible timing, 15 minutes is perfectly okay for the way that this game has gone. It's just, will they be able to do anything with it? Unfortunately, they're not going to catch out Savage while he's low, farming down on this bottom side of the map. It's been very defensive so far.
They're going to find jabs. That's not really the target they want, but they're just going to have to take it. He just stands there, just looks at him in the eye while they're taking him down. Bot lane, Ice has been split pushing though, so that may force GeekFam to try and react to this. I guess if you are Fnatic, you don't really care that Jabs just died like that.
Yeah, and there's really not much they can do against Ice doing this as well, right? He's got the siege creep, so he's made the timing really effectively. And, you can toss a couple of shadow poisons there, Zephyr, but you're just going to farm for yourself. You're not actually going to prevent anything from happening.
Exactly what does happen. Ice now, he's just going to TP up top. He's going for a blade mail on that Timber, just trying to be a real menace in this game. And for the rest of Fnatic, they have smoked up.
Oh,
they are going to run straight into Raven. Blink is already there from DJ. Avalanche toss as well. Raven, can you survive this? He will get the rocket barrage off, but it will be nowhere near enough. Jabs will be the one to secure the kill there on the Witch Doctor. That's kind of how you get a smoke done as well. You find the POS 1. It's the most valuable target they could have asked for.
And even with Ice, with that rotation up, he was still able to get efficiency out of the map. He was still able to farm it up, but he could have joined at any time just by a simple Timberjane or two.
Not just forcing that tier 2 tower now. He's got the blade mail up just on the courier. No one to defend the tier 2 as of yet. GeekFam, they're just going to try and force down that tier 1 bot tower. But this draft may be falling apart a little bit for GeekFam, just considering how behind they are in objectives right now in comparison. That was their first tier 1 with the DK.
And you can tell that they're anxious to definitely take it, popping the Elder Dragon form for a tower that's only at 15% or so. They were just so worried about the TPs coming through because the fact of the matter is Fnatic is so much stronger at them, at least before this Gyrocopter picks up his BKB and some lifesteal for himself.
Fnatic, they've smoked up again. Smoke will be broken. Wyman will be the one to break it, but they might be surrounded. Who can dissimulate now? Avalanche there from DJ. Wyman just going to try and walk off, but there's no way out of this. Back into Ice while he's chaining away. That'll be another nice kill, and they will take back their outpost. GeekFam are still kind of sticking around, but no.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Whitemon picks up this Philosopher's Stone. He spent an entire death timer there with it just sitting in the base. There we go, finally picks it up. So missed some of that passive gold during death, but now he's going to be able to get a bit closer to... one to either. So if you're ranks, but because of that and having to play so defensively to put more points into the Nightmare, where I feel like the Enfeeble would be really effective when you've got this Gyrocopter Void Spirit core combination.
Yeah, especially into that Timbersaw. You wouldn't mind seeing that, but he has not 1 point in yet. No value at all. So Fnatic, they'll defend that top T1 with Ice Ice Ice. DJ's going to rotate back down to the mid lane. They're just waiting for another opening here from GeekFam, who are trying not to give one away. So
Yeah.
Carl's just trying to secure that BKB before going any further on this Dragon Knight.
It's the BKB on him as well as Raven. They should get it at a pretty similar timing though. So we can see it's essentially clumping everyone up and making sure that can happen. It's never good though when you've got your position 1 and 2 walking down towards the same lane to try and get the same farm.
No, that it is not. That's just giving the rest of the map away to Fnatic. Ice Ice Ice, he's gonna have a... He's going for a talisman of evasion, so I'm guessing he's working towards maybe the halberd now. Spy it out. Savage. Just gonna jump into that Roshan pit. It's nothing
One
to stop.
BKB's done, and 2 are done and on its way out. So, and they actually scan out the Roshan. This could be a huge fight for GeekFam if they're able to take advantage of it, although BKB finished up on 23 Savage right now.
That it is.
Power of information, though. Will they know that this has happened?
Gonna blink in, going straight after Jabs. That Witch Doctor gonna be the first target, though. Nice toss away from DJ, but not nice enough. They will lose the Witch Doctor. He'll buy back. Now Moon zips out onto Whiteman. That Bane falling very low and does go down, as well as Zephyr also losing his life. Now where do they go, though? Cuckoo gets DJ. It's a 3v3 situation. Eclipse has been popped there from Savage, but he's not feeling confident with those BKBs on. Ice Ice Ice, he'll try to go after Cuckoo, but everyone is now backing off just slowly but surely. And now Moon looking to zip back in after the BKBs, but they have gotten out. So it looks like it's time to go back for the road.
A lot of these big ultimates coming through from Fnatic, as well as expending the buyback on Jabs, but they just don't have the mana pool on Cuckoo to make another go at it. And so they're going to give up the Roshan anyway. Bit unfortunate, but I think a neutral trade for them, despite losing Roshan, isn't the worst thing that could have come out of that.
Absolutely not. It increases their net worth now to 8k. Is Ice 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 is going to start diving into that behind that tier 2 tower and seeing what he can see. Start forcing down that tier 2 tower if they can. Especially with this Aegis on Moon, you're going to be feeling very, very confident.
They found out Timbersaw here, but that's probably the hero that you're happiest to have on the front lines.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Nightmare Fiend's Grip available right now. They're just trying to bide their time and get through him without that. Ice 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 is still alive. There's the Fiend's Grip coming out, so now you can take him out. And Fnatic just never really jumped in. But oh, here comes Moon. He wants to get started with that Ice Ice Ice. Avalanche Toss was there. Carl just forced to BKB now. And they'll just continue going after that tier 2 mid tower. They just seem unfazed by the Timbersaw dying.
Yeah, I mean, they're expending a ton of PKBs. That's already 2 used on Raven as well as Carl, so it's only the 1 so far used by Savage. No, he actually hasn't even used it once. So you're going to have the Roshan Aegis as well as the just overall teamfight effectiveness. That extra 2 seconds adds up in a big way, especially once you hit these later timings.
Absolutely, and GeekFam now are going to be feeling pressure to try and make something happen on their end of things again. So we've got the Yules up now on Cuckoo, so at least you've got some setup there for that 8th Remnant. Raven's still trying to work towards that Satanic and then Butterfly.
They found him.
Uh-oh. Moon doesn't want to lose the Aegis like this. They don't have the Fiend's Grip though. Disruption should just allow Moon to zip out.
It was a optimistic attempt there, just wanting to get the Shadow Demon Disruption perfectly comboed together with the homing missile, but you need to be some next level player for that to happen.
Well, DJ has the Yules up now as well. They're going to smoke up there with Savage. Savage looks to try and bait for his team, it seems. You mentioned as well, he does have that 10-second BKB charge, so plenty of time on that.
Make an aggressive play there. They need to get out right now on GeekFam, and they do, so that's good. But he dropped the call down, and now that it's not a 50-second cooldown, it's up to 90. They're trying to make stuff happen in the mid lane, and they do pick off Cuckoo. They've even got this creep wave pushing in. Tier 2 tower's going to go down.
Just so easy for Fnatic right now, especially on the back of Moon, who can just set up for them every time. Yeah, tier 2 tower gone, double damage.
Got a DD. Yeah, Aegis, level 18, picked up with that Cuckoo kill as well.
Uh-oh. They may just go high ground now. Carl trying to run away. Do they jump in? DJ, he does get the toss off. Carl will be forced to BKB once again. It is a defensive BKB, and Moon says, screw it, I'm zipping in. He goes straight after Zephyr. Nightmare gonna save for a bit, but Zephyr should ultimately die here, although no, he's not yet. Moon's run out of mana, but Ice. He will secure the kill on that Timber. And now the toss back again from DJ. Carl,
he doesn't have BKB.
He does not have BKB. The Eclipse does come in. He does buy back straight after. In fact, it was Zephyr who bought back. They do get DJ on the Tiny. Ice, just standing there taking all this damage from the gyrocopter. Making sure Savage gets out, and now Moon zipping back in, still holding onto that Aegis. He is out of mana. Cuckoo is almost out of HP. Can't afford to die. He just bought back. He'll get out of there.
And it just shows a little bit of the impact of using that cooldown in a farming capacity. Maybe it's a bit of muscle memory coming through from Raven just saying, oh yeah, I could toss it out and then walk back. It's just being a bit more efficient, which he's shown throughout this game. But when they were pushing up onto that tier 3 tower, he didn't have it for 20 seconds. And so again, 23 Savage is able to get out without using a BKB once. And on this DK, it's down to 7 seconds. On the gyro, it's down to 7 seconds. It's not looking good for GeekFam.
No, it really isn't. Raven now is going to spot out Savage down to that bot lane, but he's not going to be feeling too comfortable being here, or really shouldn't. He's going to send a homing missile out. He'll make a bit of a chase, actually, but eventually does give up on it. So he's just going to work towards that Eye of Skadi instead of going for that Satanic Butterfly now on that gyrocopter. I'm just not sure if that's going to make all the difference here. Like, it helps you deal with the Timbersaw, for sure. But apart from that, whether it's really good or not, whether it's going to make the difference, that's where I'm kind of concerned here for GeekFam.
I guess he just wants to be able to live for that little bit longer. He's nearly reached his level 20, so he's going to get some extra movement speed to be able to reposition in these team fights.
Could be.
Accelerate his farm a little bit further, I suppose. Oh, he's actually going the rocket barrage damage. He wants to stand and fight.
Why not? So you've got to fight at some point, and we are almost 30 minutes into the game. Maybe
Paladin Sword's real handy.
That it is. Probably the most broken tier 3 item you can find. However, Zephyr, Glimmer Cape, trying to run away, does go for a quick disruption there onto Moon, and on the way out, Moon will back off as well. You don't have that Aegis available on Moon. It never really got used up. Just expired over time, and Fnatic, they may just wait for the next Roshan to try and make any form of high ground play and just continue just dominating the map. They are heading down bot lane with this 12k net worth lead to try and pick somebody off of Moon, zipping in. He needs to get in that tree line. 1 TP cancellation, Cuckoo. He couldn't get out in time. The avalanche toss is there. You don't quite find Raven, but you found something just as good. And now Savage goes into the mid lane after Carl. He has the Satanic up on the Luna. He's pinging out as well. He wants help. They just don't have the mana to zip in.
No, and that's the thing as well. With 23 Savage, he's happy to just stand here and fight. He's got a Satanic available.
DJ did jump in. Now Moon also going to come in. Zephyr, he's in big trouble. He will go down. A decent call down, however, with the Fiend's Grip there onto Moon. Will take down the Storm. Carl, can you survive? He can. But how do you get Raven out of here? Wyman will definitely die on the Bane. 1 Nightmare should do it. Raven is out. The rest of Fnatic won't bother trying to chase the harder target. And, GeekFam, they did find that mid-storm, but they lost 3 of their own in the process.
And it just shows you the effectiveness of that first BKB usage coming out from 23 Savage. He also had it comboed together with the level 20 that he picked up, so there was the threat of the Eclipse damage coming through. Pretty scary right now if you're on GeekFam. They're just constantly playing on the back foot. You can see here Cuckoo, he's 6 levels behind Ice just because of constantly playing inside his side of the map.
Been rough for Cuckoo, that's for sure. That mid-tier 3 tower now going to be under siege here. Savage is feeling very confident with that Satanic. Does get jumped on, but Cuckoo is just He's bluffing. He's not going to jump all the way, just chipping away at that HP pool.
DJ's looking to make that sacrificial play again, jump in onto the back lines, toss him back into him, but doesn't need to. They're able to just siege down that tier 3 on their own.
Absolutely, and there's no reason to stick around now. You know the Roshan should be coming up sometime soon. They'll just place a quick bounty off onto Raven's Head before they do leave, and well, that Roshan, we find out in 1 second when it's going to be up, and it is, it's 2.5 minutes. It's going to be a while.
Acquired a Tome of Knowledge onto our DK here, so he's hoping to reach up into his level 20, maybe just for a bit of additional survivability for himself. He's definitely playing in that way, or at least he used to, with that Dragon Scale being held, but want to lose the benefits of that Orb of Destruction that was previously on the Gyrocopter. This is keen. This is keen.
Yeah. Dust comes out, DJ. He did actually find him. No, they blink away. Carl, he went on to Moon. Now the Beast Rip once again, but Moon, he is actually just fine. The Beast Rip did nothing. Now Whiteman will go down. Raven, also going to be in trouble. He'll just try and TP out of there with the BKB and will be successful in doing so. They'll keep zipping in. Ice giving the vision over. They'll miss out on Zephyr. Now Carl trying to turn it around. They want to
take a fight. They've still got this Elder Dragon form. They found the Storm Spirit, but it's only Carl doing the damage.
And Moon, he barely gets out of there alive. Zephyr does end up going down to the Shadow Demon, and now Savage does secure the kill onto Cuckoo with Lucent Beam. And, well, it's onto the mid-racks. Buybacks are flying out now from GeekFam, but those glaives really do rip into the racks quite quick. Blink in, a quick Lucent Beam out from Savage, that was fast. They do try to go onto Ice. He is so tanky, however. That Eclipse is doing so much damage, and poor old Cuckoo is going to die back immediately. They still try to go onto that Luna, but he just doesn't care. In fact, maybe he does now. That I have Skadi kind of being a bit disruptive with his lifesteal, though. Great Yule's off onto the DK. What are these reaction times? Carl, he's stuck up. Rax's are still falling. Now Zephyr's getting jumped on Moon. He's got the control. He will get the kill. They go back in. interesting. I thought Moon was just the obvious candidate there for the Aegis, but they seem to just want to give it to Savage. Well, Ice doesn't seem to mind either way. He's already started pushing out top lane. He doesn't really have much mana, but he has enough regen to just sustain himself with those greaves as well.
And they've kept this Guardian creeps being used to make.
Gonna go in.
It's enough.
Repair kit is there.
The only way you gotta CC
He's due to just die here. The Nightmare Raven up, but he does. Oh, he gets disrupted. Still very low. Finally does go down. No buyback available. And now DJ looking for another toss-back target. He does get one. It is going to be Cuckoo. He'll dissimulate, trying to astral step away, and does get away with it. But now Moon zipping in again on that storm, going straight after Whiteman. The poor Bane, he's had a rough game, and it's not getting any easier. They will get him with the coconuts. It's a lot of damage up from Zephyr and Cuckoo, but it's not quite enough. Now Carl will be chased down on the DK. They do disrupt him up, but he's certain to die here, as Ice has the control, and they will get him right in front of that fountain. 3 heroes down without buyback, and I believe you'd call that GG.
I believe so too. As long as this Luna's still alive, you're just going to rip through the base, and they even take out the poor Mango Tree to end the game. So some good execution from Fnatic, but yeah, you just can't let that Timbersaw through, because even though it might not have made this huge impact in team fights, it's just the laning stage and opening up the map so much more for the rest of your team that allowed them to get that early advantage. I think it was like an 8k lead or something like that at around the 15-20 minute mark, and